Nigeria is home to 174 million inhabitants, accounting for a quarter of the African continent's population. With its highest GDP on the continent and huge deficiency in public infrastructure to support businesses and economic growth, opportunities for harnessing cloud services to power the economy promises to be the biggest blue ocean of all time. Reliance Infosystems has been working with Microsoft to explore these vast opportunities. Businesses are responding positively to the skill economy, elasticity, and high return on investment of Office 365 and Microsoft Azure. In partnership with Microsoft Nigeria, Reliance Infosystems brings two of its financial services customers to the spotlight. They both shared common challenges and found great relief in their adoptions of Office 365 and Microsoft Azure.
In the studios with us today, we have Mr. Eniola Benjamin, the Head of Business Solution for Vertiva Capital Management Limited. Sitting close to him is also Mr. Oluwafemi Ojo, who is the Head IT Network Operations for Vertiva Capital Management Limited. And sitting next to him is our good friend from Cornerstone, Mr. Olasoji Tehimbola, who is the CTO for Cornerstone. You're all welcome to the studio.
Good morning. Hi.
Very well, thank you. And my name is Yeri Malaya. I work for Microsoft, and here with me is my friend Papa Tulia Fola, who works at IDC. Before we start, I will have this continue with our conversation. So could Benjamin just walk us through what Vertiva Capital Management Limited is all about, so we have an idea of what you guys do.
Okay, Vertiva is a group of financial services firms. Vertiva Capital Management is the parent company. We also have within the group Vertiva Securities, the stockbroking arm, Vertiva Funds Management, that's the funds stroke asset management arm, and Vertiva Trustees. And then recently we just spun off VTech. That's going to be our technology firm that provides business solutions to partners within the financial services industry.
Cornerstone is an insurance company, composite in the sense that we underwrite life and non-life insurance company. So it's a group. We have asset management, same Cornerstone asset management, and we also have Cornerstone Financial Services, all bundled together.
What was life like for you guys?
Cumbersome, hectic. Everything was everywhere. You know, having to have a hand, you know, in everything in the data center was a big task, and it was, of course, we incurred a lot of money. You know, having to invest in a lot of physical hardware, you know, to support, you know, our users, to support the business, to support our clients and our customers and all that. So, but of course, we were always getting along, you know, with Reliance Infosystems being our IT consultants, you know, our partners in-house. You know, so we've always been a Microsoft shop, you know, running the traditional file servers, you know, the traditional Microsoft Exchange, you know, the traditional, you know, even hosting our applications in-house, SQL Server, you know, but everything was always on premise. Okay, so we had a lot of machines that were just, lying around, you know, so justifying the cost for additional hard drive space to management was a big challenge. You know, so that was, you know, anytime you want to buy something, oh, we run out of space. So having to align IT with the business objective was always a challenge. You know, so, but since we've moved to the cloud, you know, but we'll get to talk more about that, you know, as we go on, I guess.
So, so I want to just hear from you.
We operate a data center whereby in the location where we are, it was discovered that we can't have a public power supply for just an hour in a whole day. So we run our data center on diesel, on generating set using diesel. That means that gives us the fact that at a certain time of the day we have to shut down, power down all the systems in the data center, power down the generator, and maintaining the Exchange servers itself maybe powering down, upgrading servers, space. I could remember we have mailboxes. We have to set limits to people, do archiving. It's a hell lot of plethora of problems managing people, getting people to get their mails. And like he said, as we go along, we can breathe on it. We have one thing that pushes us to the cloud. We were pushed to the cloud. We have a very bad experience that pushed us to there that we just have to solve the problem.
Let me move to Benjamin and ask this question. Having understood that you guys have migrated your web portal to Microsoft Azure, what was your similar experience before that?
Before moving to Azure, we were already operating with the concept of a hybrid setup, where the core business application, because we develop it in-house, is hosted within the premises. But to ensure that clients are always able to view their positions, place orders, and all that round the clock, we left that portal with a host in North America. But support wasn't the best. We experienced a lot of downtime. Getting them to keep pace with upgrades to the web servers. As Microsoft released patches and things, we always had to prompt, and we always needed to be able to keep a handle on that, because there were sometimes when we had service outages because of unpatched servers. Some other times they had problems within their infrastructure that didn't get resolved for days at a time. The last painful point that happened was an outage for about 3 days. We lost significant income because we weren't able to take client orders for those periods. And management finally decided it was time to move to Azure. And funny enough, we completed the move in roughly 2-3 days.
Wow.
All the sites, portals, everything.
Can you share with us any of the challenges that you had before migrating to Office 365? If there was any time that you felt like throwing out your servers just with that experience?
There's something Mr. Saji said that I think is common in this environment, which is power. All right, so we also had a similar experience. Funny enough, which for us, because of the fact that the kind of business we do, we always have to be on 24 hours of the day. So we do, power down the generators, but we have inverters that run, especially over the weekend. So there was a particular weekend as well that my MD was out of the country, and he had a transaction. There was a time-based transaction that he needed to submit a bid for, and unfortunately for us, the inverters were out of power. So the servers were down, everything was down. So he's out of the country. They sent the bid, of course, because of the fact that we're down, he didn't get to the end. So we lost out on that transaction. You can guess what happened Monday morning. It was helpful for the IT department, and it was then we decided, you know what, it doesn't make sense anymore running so much, on diesel, on power, and everything. And even work-life balance, because we always have to have an IT personnel on ground all time over the weekend, just to make sure that things are going smoothly, running smoothly. So after that, we just decided, let's go for this.
On a daily basis, the Nigerian Stock Exchange trades billions of naira in shares. Vetiva is one of the top 10 stockbrokers, so we do have a good slice of those trades. If majority of our orders couldn't come through for 3 days, you can begin to quantify what we lost in terms of commission. There is also the ripple effect that comes from damage to your brand. Sometimes customers lose faith when there are outages like this, and you don't seem to be able to give them a reasonable response as to what exactly went wrong or how long it will take you to come back up. And some of those clients may decide to either close their accounts or leave their account there and just silently go to another broker and over time sell down their portfolios. So you can't really quantify it in monetary terms, but it wasn't good.
Like what you said, our business application is on-premise. It's our email services and SharePoint portals that we've been able to look at now. Our main core insurance business application is on a server, is a third-party software from India, runs on Oracle, runs on Forms, and it's still there. So we've been having downtime on that one too, in terms of, okay, our branches are trying to connect to it through the link, and slow, not available 24/7. Like we have some portal services now. We have our e-channel. If you go to our website now, we have our e-channel. Most of our products are there. And we shut down at the end of the day, like I said. And the online interaction that we put, that people can access and everything. When the server is down, we cannot get up. So we, in order to make it 24/7 like our email services again, so we are trying to look at putting it there, and that's where Azure comes in. So which we are looking at now, not yet, we are looking at it, about to move into it, so that we can make it. Then again, we are trying to consolidate our channels, our data channels, because we have plethora of applications here and there. We want to have a common database whereby everybody we're talking to, whereby a CRM can sit on, then a BI, business intelligence application, can sit on, so that we can serve the managers. So those Azure has to be the platform that we have to sit on and get the database on. We are building the database now, and we are talking to Reliance on moving us to that platform, and at the same time acquire a CRM that will sit on it, a BI that will sit on it.
From what you said, it's obvious that the experience with Office 365 has given you opportunities for Microsoft Azure to want to upskill all that.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the kind of thing we want to get from with the solutions.
That's the fact. That's the fact.
Provide. So maybe I would also ask the same question, Femi. So with the new platforms, Office 365 that you're using, so what is like the experience and the newfound love with Office 365?
You know what I mean? When I walk around the office these days, people tell me, I never knew I could do this. You know, why haven't you given this to us all along? For us, the experience has been improved productivity, because now users can collaborate, you know, at any time right now. You know, I can be anywhere in the world at any time. You're sleeping, someone else is waking up, and by the time you are waking up, I have my report ready for you to review. You know, so like he said, our end customers for us, 90 are the users. Okay, so now users are able to do more. You know, they're able to manage their time more. You know, so we've seen increased productivity, increased efficiency, you know, from our users. I give you, you know, like just an example. You know, at Vertiva, we drive most of our businesses, you know, how we market people based on research. Okay, so we have people that are churning out reports, you know, market data, you know, taking all of this in and making a beautiful story out of it, which we recommend to our customers. And previously, one of the, you know, requests that has come in, or feedback that we've gotten, is the fact that, you know, people that write these reports, the time that they are inspired, I don't know why, the time that they are inspired could be in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know, and so, oh, wow, I have this idea, I need to put down this information, but then I'm at home. I'm not in the office. So how do I, you know, so okay, I have to wait till I get to work the following day. So by the time they get to the office the following day, yeah, it's done, you know, that is done, you know. But now with SharePoint Online, OneDrive, you know, they are able to do this at any time. So I think for me that that has been an enriching experience for us.
Awesome, great stuff. So what are the tools and features that you are currently using, or better still, the tools that you look forward into using in the future?
Okay, currently we use the website's feature. We use SQL Azure. We use the Redis cache because we find out that one of the reasons why a lot of business portals tend to be slow, especially those developed in this part of the world, is they're constantly hitting the database to fetch data. And because financial services apps are computationally intensive, it's usually better to pre-compute some values and keep them somewhere for reuse. That's where Redis cache comes in. We're currently looking at using Azure Service Bus because we currently operate in a hybrid infrastructure. A lot of the plumbing to keep the portal in sync with the core business app, we built it. So we're looking at a way of trying to remove some of the pieces we built. We'll still need to keep some of them in place, but use the Azure Service Bus to keep them more in sync in real time. And the advantage is you have the power of the cloud behind you. There's scalability, there's reliability in message delivery, and things like that. Because we do most of our development in-house for our portals, our sites, and the core business app, collaborating between developers used to be a challenge because we used to host our TFS in-house. But now we're using Visual Studio Online, and that also gives other stakeholders within the business visibility into what is going on. We can plan delivery of features, we can plan, we can prioritize better and basically keep everybody in sync with what is happening. You know, Microsoft has always been a company that prides itself in simplicity, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to go with the Microsoft tool chain from the very beginning. But because Azure is also maturing, we would like to see a greater level of integration amongst all these services.
These are your expectations?
Yeah, these are my expectations. A greater level of integration and increased ease of use. We already like some of the flows and some of the stories. I mean, it makes us more efficient and productive, but yeah.
With these expectations, do you think more businesses would take up Azure? Cornerstone has already said that it's something they plan to implement soon.
Yeah.
Do you think more businesses like yours to want to implement?
Well, when you consider all the pain points that we're running away from, definitely more businesses want to reduce their IT infrastructure spend. More businesses want to increase the productivity of end users. And for those of them who have to manage their own business apps, they will definitely want to have the power of the cloud behind them, especially those who want to provide some kind of mobility experience for their users, which is something we're looking to do. Apart from having the client portal, we want people to be able to trade shares on their mobile phones. And the mobile services that Azure provides, which is one of the services we're also exploring to put to good use, makes this possible.
Okay, so how has Reliance Infosystems been able to assist you in migrating to Office 365? Your entire experience with Office 365?
Reliance Infosystems is a company that has been with us from, I think, the very first day we started as a business, in terms of helping us plan our IT deployment, helping us scope what is happening out there. You know, I think Reliance has been preaching Office 365 to us for about 2 years before we finally, implemented it. And if I look through the implementation phase, the level of detail that they were able to put to the deployment, was phenomenal. Of course, that's from the point of view that they understand our infrastructure, since they've been with us since day one. So, yes, we are happy that they recommended Microsoft Office 365.
Reliance has been a reliable partner with us over the years. At the time I talked to Google, what turned me down on Google is when I saw the the Word, the spreadsheet, and every other thing that if I host with Google, well, it looks fantastic, the presentation looks fantastic, but when I consider legacy documents, the one we have done in Word, Excel, and every other thing, the presentation portal in Google and the PowerPoint in Microsoft. So I started looking at it. We have so many documents. How am I going to convince my users? Then the learning curve, the user we have, the look and feel. I look at the spreadsheet on Google. I look at Excel. People that are in finance that use Excel very well. How do I take them to this spreadsheet? So we have all those plethora of activities. First thing I said, okay, the way I am on premise, move me to a site. We now started looking at which are the best sites, and that's where Rackspace comes in. We went into Rackspace, put the servers there, they made provisioning and every other thing. Why we were there was when still thinking, toying with the idea, is it the best to have? Okay, it was then that we started looking at Office 365, which Reliance has been pushing to, and say Office 365 should be our bus stop, that we should look at it. So I think we were on Rackspace for about a year before I finally moved into
Office 365. And now it's your final bus stop.
Because of the kind of environment that we run, we are heavily regulated, and one of the regulations is the fact that we have to have disaster recovery.
Yeah.
For the longest time we have looked for the best solution that will meet disaster. I mean, think about the disaster, any disaster recovery implementation. You can think about hot sites, cold sites, everything we have thought about it. So of course we talked about Rackspace, and everything, but when we realized that we could achieve DR with Office 365, we just
stuck to it too. And it became your final bus stop too.
Final bus stop.